Hey everybody, Tekking101 here in a slightly different locale for today's video. We are going to be continuing Zombie Powder. That's the great thing about this board though, is that pretty much I can just move wherever I want to in the house, and I'm like, okay, I need something in the background to kind of give it the hint of anime relation or Bleach relating or something, so I can just chuck this thing wherever I'm doing a video at. I'm actually making brownies right now, and it's going to go off in like 15 minutes, and I'm like, I could wait until the end of, you know, to when the brownies are finished to do the video, or I could just do it now, and, you know, I have no patience, so let's just do this. Alright, so this is kind of the post-chapter, the post-arc chapter, where we just kind of get up-to-date, like, on what's going on with everybody, what's going to happen next. The battle is now over with Mystic and Gamma's group. The circus is now crumbled, and they saved Emilio and Wolfina, so this is just kind of like, you know, reevaluating everything and seeing where we're going to head out to next on their next epic adventure, which I'm sure will last for many years to come. Alright, so we start off in Alcantara. We're still chilling there, and we basically, the first thing we get is an update on what happened with the rest of the members of the Balmung Circus. So as we know, Pounder was still alive. We knew Luca, the trapeze artist, and her little, you know, assistant, you know, the bald dude with the tattoo. I shouldn't say little, he was kind of tall, you know, and they were still around when the train crashed. And what happened with them is they pretty much immediately gave up as soon as Gamma, you know, and like, you know, basically saved Emilio, and Wolfina had a bunch of bullet holes in him and crashed the fucking train into the tent. And Pounder even said, you know, a tent is the circus's life, and along with that, our freaking boss just deserted us, so there's no reason for us to fight you. You know, it's been pretty much just nullified. We know we lost, and we're just gonna leave. And, you know, they could have caused some trouble, too. They could have been like, you know, as Gamma was kind of worn down, if they really wanted to, they could have ganged up on him, and they could have maybe done something. I don't know if Shakaboon's still alive, but they pretty much just realized, yeah, we were pretty much just hanging out with Balmung because he was our ringleader, he was the master of the circus, but he's not around anymore, so our morale's kind of screwed. We're just gonna get out of here. And, you know, just given the fact of how Kubo does stuff with Bleach, I like to think that Pounder and Luca and all the members of the circus that we've seen but we haven't, they just kind of leave. I like to think they're like the Hanachiro and Ganju of Zombie Powder. Like, if the series would have continued, they would have showed up like several years later in like a different arc, you know, as allies to Gamma and the group when they needed them most. So I like to think that's what happened. Then we get an update for everybody who's in the hospital, because Wolfina looks like she had a broken arm, she had a broken leg, she's all, you know, casted up, and Gamma's just sleeping in the bed, and Elwood is in there too, I guess for some, I don't even know why Elwood's in there. I mean, he, you know, I suppose for like some first, second degree burns, but he didn't really seem to be that much pain. You know, he lost his shirt. Someone get this man some morphine. He can't handle the pain without wearing his shirt. He's slightly scuffed. We have to get that slight scuff off him, because he was chilling outside in the cold air, and he's like, oh, hey, Smith, what's going on? Yeah, I'm a little bit chilly out here. You know, I might catch a cold. Maybe he did catch a cold. Maybe that's why he's in the doctor's office. He caught a cold. But, you know, Gamma was obviously the one that was supposed to be the most injured, and he was supposed to be the one that was going to check out the last, but he checked out first. I guess he's just the Naruto mentality. You get a good night's sleep, he all heals up. Maybe that has something to do with his Kairin Zanjutsu, or it's like augmented healing, or maybe that's like his dark self, like, heals him or some shit. I don't know. But he healed pretty quickly, so he just gets up and he leaves, and Elwood is discharged the second. And now we open up on the chapter a couple days after Elwood gets discharged, or maybe like a day or so after, because I know, actually, I think it has to be like closer to like some couple weeks, because Wolfina is being discharged now, and she had like a broken or fractured arm, so that doesn't heal up in just a couple days. So probably about a week or so, I'd say. So we open up, and it's like Smith and Elwood, and they're just kind of having some casual banter. Smith's apparently looking to where Gamma is, and, you know, and Elwood's just like, I don't know, I haven't seen him. Wait a second, Wolfina's getting discharged from the hospital today. I should probably buy her some flowers. And you know, so he goes out and does that. He gets her some flowers. We get the title page. And then we open up with Wolfina and Emilio. They're in the hospital, and they're like right about to get discharged. Like I said, Wolfina she's not wearing a cast or anything, so that's what I meant to say. Like, she's pretty much, it's been like about a week or so. So we have Dr. Rosco having a little bit of a conversation with Wolfina now that they're leaving the hospital, and they're just kind of reflecting back on everything, and Wolfina's just, you know, she's saying to the doctor, yeah, I'm going to be leaving now, and the doctor and her just kind of like, they have a handshake, and they're just like, yeah, thank you for everything. You've done so much for me the past, you know, year, 2 years I've been there, I guess. Yeah, so, you know, she just thanks him, and then she heads out with Emilio in a wheelchair. So after Wolfina leaves, a nurse comes in and basically just has a little bit of a conversation with the doctor, just about Wolfina, and, you know, how much, you know, Wolfina's touched the doctor's lives and everything, and the lives of everyone in the town. I forget her name. She, Ah, man, it was in a Naked Monkeys. It was like that soap opera name that she had, like Sarah Summerhill or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably look it up and find out what it is. Okay, so we find out a little bit about Dr. Roscoe's past. He had a wife and a daughter, both of whom died, and I think, you know, it happened like a long time ago. Apparently there was like a car accident or some such. And, you know, they just have a lot of parallels here to, like, oh, when they left that one night, there was a big storm, and then Wolfina showed up in the same storm, so therefore he viewed Wolfina kind of like as his daughter and everything, and that's why they were so close. And yeah, that's what that is. And the nurse is just like, oh, don't worry, because she'll come back one day because it's sunny outside today. So just kind of like, don't worry, everything will be fine. I'm sorry, I'm glossing over this. This actually spawned, like, the majority of the chapter. Like, what I just explained to you in probably less than 2 or 3 minutes took up, like, half of the chapter. And, you know, it's not the main characters, so, I mean, it's good. Everyone has a happy ending, I guess, but whatever. So next scene, we have Wolfina leaving the hospital, and we have Elwood, you know, giving her the flowers, and he's very bashful, and he's just like, I heard you're getting better today, so here's some flowers, you know. So if we're gonna... Are we going with this? Are we going, like, Wolfina's not that much older than Elwood. I mean, Wolfina's, what, 18 years old? Elwood's only, like, 13? It could work. Fine. I mean, you know, whatever. It's a different, you know, world now. You don't have to necessarily... I was walking the other night, and I was talking to some kids that were probably, like, way younger than I was. I would probably say they were, like, 15, 16 years old. They were still in high school. And that's just the way it is around this area. And they were talking about dating. And they were talking about dating like they knew, like they were some divine seers of it. You know, they were like 15, 16 years old, and they're like, it's like, you can't date a girl that's taller than you. That's just weird. You can't date a girl that's older than you. That's just weird. You know, more than a couple years older than you. That's just weird. They were discussing this divine wisdom, and they were departing it onto me. And I've never dated a girl for longer than like 2 months, but I'm just sitting there like, okay, yeah, you know, once you get to a certain point, like after you get out of high school and you don't deal with the drama shit, that really doesn't grok anymore. That doesn't really feel like if you'd be lucky to find somebody you have an emotional connection with anyway, grab it and keep it. And hey, the age of consent in Japan is 13 anyway, so Elwood, go for it, bro. Go for it. Alright, so, yeah, Wolfina just kind of teases him a little bit. He's like, oh, you're such a stud doing this stuff at your age. And I guess they're about to head out and meet Smith and Gamma and then just leave the town. We still don't know where Gamma is, actually. He just kind of left. You know, Smith was looking for him earlier. When all of a sudden these 2 freaking cop cars pull up to the hospital and this guy gets out and he I don't know what he reminds me of. He reminds me of, like, I don't know, some typical scrawny guy in a movie in a horror movie that usually gets like killed off in like the first 5 minutes. You know, he shows up and he's like, Wolfina, why are you leaving? I mean, I love you so much. And that's basically what I'm getting across here. Like, he had some deep connection with Wolfina somehow. His name's Jonathan, I think. And Wolfina's like, oh no, I gotta leave because I found a doctor that's going to help Emilio. Obviously the one that Gamma recommended. And, you know, John's just like, where'd you find the doctor that could do that? And Wolfina holds up the picture, and he's just like, oh, Gamma showed me. And he's like, no way, you can't be going with him. That's Akutami Gamma. That's a, you know, blah, 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 criminal, blah, 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 do horrible things to you. You don't touch your body, like, whatever. So, you know, he's taking advantage of a woman. So it's funny here, though, because Wolfina is trying to explain to this cop that just like, no, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. He's you know what? Okay, I shouldn't say he's like a scrawny horror movie guy. He's like basically like an overprotective, like older brother figure to Wolfina, I guess would be a better way to say it. And Wolfina's trying to explain to him, no, it's not like what it says in the papers. He's not that bad of a guy. The second she says that, out of the freaking air, like kind of reminiscing when Wolfina first crashed into Gamma. Remember, like, Gamma was just walking around the town back in Chapter 9, and Wolfina just jumped off the building, and, like, you just see a shadow, and it crashed right into him? Same thing happens here. Gamma jumps off the freaking building like he's freaking Batman, which I'm convinced it was one of the inspirations for this character, given the way he's drawn sometimes. Like, oh my god, he's freaking Batman, you know? So he jumps off this building, lands right on the freaking cop car, right behind Jonathan, and then he proceeds to, you know, strike epic posing, like, I'm Akutami Gamma, he looks all healed up, he's ready to go, and Wolfina's in the background just like, can't you land like a normal person? And Gamma just gives like the, like, talk to the hand, bitch. He's like, I'm prohibiting you from making jokes like that from now on, given what happened the first time they met. And, you know, Gamma's just like, oh, Elwood, I was wondering where you were. And Elwood's like, I was looking for you, you idiot. And I'm like, no, whatever, it's cool, it's fine. I was looking for cars, because apparently they were going to go to the next town, I guess, and, you know, to find the doctor, you know, to cure Emilio. And I guess Gamma doesn't just want to, like, walk or take a bus or whatever like they did before. He needs a car. He needs a sweet ride, you know what I'm saying? A guy like Akutami Gamma needs to ride in style. So he's like, oh, I'm just looking around the town, but I couldn't find any good ones. Just like, kind of like he was walking around the town, be like, he's like, that's not a good one. one, that's not a good one. And like, what if he found one he did like? Like, what if he found like a freaking convertible Ferrari, some shit, and he'd be like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna steal this car now. But anyway, Elwood's just like, why can't we just take a train? And, you know, I was expecting Gamma just to be like, no, Elwood, no more trains, ever. But no, he doesn't even bring that up. He's just like, oh, I fall asleep when I'm riding trains. I can't enjoy the surrounding area. I can't enjoy the scenery. Really, Gamma? I would be more skeptical at taking a train given the fact that you just were basically almost killed by one like 3 times less than a week ago or 2 weeks ago. But whatever. So he's just like, he grabs the cop car. I guess the cop car was the one that he's like, oh yeah, I could ride in style in a cop car. You know, maybe ironically. He grabs the freaking roof of the thing, tears the fucking thing off. The cop's freaking him out. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, no, I have a policy. It's cool. I have a policy about only riding in convertibles. That's why I took the roof off, like so nonchalantly. Cop's just like, what? I don't give a shit about your policy. You can't be ripping up my cop car. And then, click, Smith just points the gun right in the guy's freaking ear and just like, nah, it's cool. I'm here. Whatever. It's all good. So I guess on the way here, Smith knocked out all the other cops. And it's okay, though, because he's a good guy. And, he's just like, okay, everyone's here, we ready to go, alright. So they all jump in the car, Wolfina gets in, they get Emilio in there, you know, with the wheelchair, they fold that up, and, you know, to basically just, at the end of the chapter, you know, I don't want to say confusing, it's more just kind of, like, wondering exactly what the relationship is between Wolfina and this guy, because, you know, he, like, she knows him, obviously, and he knows him, like, her, like, kind of like a protective, you know, older brother, and she takes off his hat, puts it, like, basically just takes his hat, and then kisses him on the cheek or whatever, and just says, don't worry, you know, you're an adult now, right? That crybaby John from high school has graduated, so it's like they knew each other back in high school, but it was stated that Wolfina's only lived here for like 2 years. So did she move here and then go to high school and then immediately graduate and then do that? Or did they both go to the same high school and then they moved out here? Like, I don't know exactly what this is. Like, did she always live in Alcantara and she just left and came back? I don't know how that works. But well, I know it doesn't matter. I'm just saying it's a little bit, you know, wondering exactly where the timeline fits in there. But anyway, yeah, she steals his hat and just says, good luck, John, you know, that the peace of this town depends on you now, kind of like passing the torch, because Wolfina was kind of protecting the town from Balmonk, you know, the entire time. Well, she wasn't really protecting it, because he could have killed everyone if he wanted to, Balmonk, but, you know, they were kind of playing around. So Wolfina was kind of the protector, and now, you know, passing the torch to this guy named John, who we've just met, so I trust you with the town, John. And the chapter ends with him just saying, like, wake up, you bastards, we gotta get back to the station, you come on, peace of Alcantara depends on me. And that's the end of the chapter, and that is the end of the Alcantara arc. So, yeah, you know, that's just a wrap-up chapter, not really much for me to talk about. Weird introduction to this John guy all of a sudden. I mean, I know he's not going to show up again. He's probably never going to be mentioned again. And, you know, if you were going to have anybody, you know, protect the peace of the town, have it be the doctor. That doctor was like a black belt in freaking judo. You know, he could grapple you, and he could break it, like, snap your neck. Damn, that'd be awesome. But, yeah, that's the end of that, and we're moving on to the final arc of the Zombie Powder, which is only 3 chapters, and it is, I like to call it these arcs actually aren't named, I just kind of give them that name just because they don't actually give them, like when Kubo starts Bleach, he actually started, like, naming, like, at the end of the fake arc, I mean, at the beginning of the Fullbring arc, he actually put the title of the arc in the chapter. Here, I've just been calling them, like, Grid Geller arc, you know, Ash Daughter arc, Alcantara arc, and this last one I like to call the Gemini arc. As you will soon see, my brownies are now done, so I'm going to go enjoy them, chocolatey bastards. And, yeah, so catch you back here next time when we're going to start the Chapter 25 and meet a very, very interesting new character. Haven't heard much, but heard she's kind of a Lolita, sort of, maybe, kind of. Depends. I'll let you guys be the judge of that one. Yeah. Brownie time.